Hello, everybody. Welcome to 10 Minutes with Tom here at the Badlands in downtown Elwood City. My name's Tom Milnes, and you're going to experience 10 Minutes with Tom. Last week, I gave a message about guys, about what it means to be a Christian man. Today's, it's for the ladies. This message is for the ladies. Because, we have such a struggle in our society between male and female, and the blurred lines and everything that goes along with it. And I just want to give you a little bit of my perspective from the Bible. Anybody here ever read from the book of Luke? Well, Luke wrote the book of Luke, and Luke also wrote the book of Acts. And those two books alone feature so many females. I mean, if you think about it, from the mother of Jesus to his Jesus' aunt Elizabeth, and Mary Magdalene, and the woman who's caught in the act of adultery, and the ladies who sold purple and who helped out the apostles and followed them. And the very first person to proclaim the resurrected Christ was Mary Magdalene. So the Bible speaks very highly of women. It isn't a put down. Women aren't slaves or possessions. Women are precious and to be adored. And just to start it off here, Jesus was on his way out of Jerusalem, and he passed through Samaria, and he got tired, and he sat down near this well, and the disciples went to McDonald's to get some food. I'm improvising a little bit there. So they go and they get some food, and while he's there, in the middle of the day, this woman coming down the street there, kind of forlorn, ragtag, in the middle of the day, which is quite unusual because most of the ladies got together, and in the morning they came out when it was cool. They drew all the water for the day, and they'd gossip and tell stories and go back in town. So this woman was obviously an outcast. So she comes to the well, and Jesus is there, and she's keeping to herself because in these days, you don't talk to women, you don't talk to strange women, and you definitely don't talk to Samaritans. Because they're just, they're half-breeds. They don't have the law right. They don't worship right. They're just outcasts, right? So this woman, who we're going to find out, who had several husbands, had a checkered past, obviously didn't get along with the other ladies in town, just a woman who did not feel really good about herself in her life. She felt used and abused and an outcast. So this woman comes to the well, and there's Jesus, and he says, "Would you get me a drink?" First of all, she's shocked. This guy's a Jew, talk to me. That doesn't happen, right? The fact that I'm a woman, the fact that I'm a Samaritan, and she's like, "Would you, being a Jew, ask me, a Samaritan woman, for a drink? What are you, crazy? You're a stranger around here? We don't do this. This isn't done." But what's really cool about Jesus, he doesn't care about social stigmas or anything like that. He sees people. He doesn't see a Samaritan or a woman. He saw her as a person. Probably one of the first times in her life that it ever happened. And he introduced himself to her, and he said, "Boy, the water I could give you is going to spring up in everlasting life." And she's like, "Wow, I could use some of that water. That way I wouldn't have to keep coming out here and hauling this stuff back and forth." And she's kind of missing the point. So he says, "Well, go get your husband." She says, "I have no husband." He goes, "Oh yeah, verily, you've had 5, and the guy you're with right now, he isn't your husband." She's like, "Sir, I perceive that you're a prophet." Pretty sharp, huh? So she starts right away with a big theological question. "Well, you Jews say you worship this way, and we worship that way. Who's right or wrong?" And Jesus laid something on her that he didn't lay on any of the Pharisees or the scribes. He said something so cool, something that I live by. The Father's looking for those to worship him with 2 things: country and western. No, it was rock and roll. Nope, Southern gospel. No, he didn't say that. Hip hop. No, he didn't say that. He said spirit and truth. He laid down the standards for what a true worshiper is. Samaritan, Jew, yeah, well, you Samaritans have your problems, you have your doctrinal issues, but the Father is looking for people from in here who are going to worship. He's speaking to an outcast woman. He's dignifying her. And that is the most amazing thing that people in our day don't see. We have social stigmas today. We have groups that you don't associate with, people you don't want to talk to. And then we've got angry women out there, don't we? Who feel marginalized, who don't feel they're getting paid enough for doing the same job as men, who feel used and abused, and they're victimized by cruel men. And we already talked about this last week. Don't be a jerk if you're a guy. Be cool. Treat your lady good. Worship God. And be a great man. Quit ye like men is the scripture I quoted. And but ladies, they deserve respect. What Mary Magdalene did, I couldn't have done it. For a lot of physical, reasons I couldn't, physiological reasons I couldn't. But what a woman can endure, the strength that a woman has. And this woman who's sitting there from Samaria, the Samaritan woman, who went off in her village and she say, guys, I have met the Messiah. Who else had that news? Who else was given that message? None of the Pharisees were really blabbing it. The disciples kind of knew it, but they were kind of not sure about Jesus half the time. But there's this woman who had her mail read, who finally found someone who looked at her as a person, who finally offered her life. And she just unashamedly went to her village, where she was also an outcast. And she says, I have met the Messiah. First time you're going to read that in the New Testament. Pretty cool, huh? Talking to a friend of mine the other day about the difference between men and women, right? I think we have a huge problem now, where women want guys to think more like women. They want us to be nicer and more sensitive, and they want us to be less mean, and they want us to feel bad about mean men. Some of them, not all of them. And then you have these other brute guys that women should be seen and not heard, should be barefoot and in the kitchen, and shut up, woman, and make me a sandwich. So we've got these two terrible extremes that we have to wade through all this stuff every time we want to talk about this issue. Well, I'll give you my opinion on this, and you can do with it as you will. I don't know how my time is doing, but guys don't think like ladies, and ladies don't think like men. And I think that is by design. I think that is a creation of God Almighty, and it should be appreciated. I mean, I've been married for 37 years, and I can't figure my wife out. I love her to death. I think she's wonderful. And if she's seeing this, hi dear, love you. But I think she's wonderful, but I don't understand what she's thinking half the time. And when we were just starting to get together, in our first years of marriage, we thought about processes of thinking. Are we going to go or not? Are we going to leave on time or not? Or are we going to just... A guy is like A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. We're linear. We get things done. We're solution-oriented, goal-oriented. We're ladies. They don't think like that, do they? Ladies think in circles. Well, if I wash my hair first and I get these shoes, I think this blouse would go with it. And I should be ready by 8:15. But I have to call my sister first, so there's another 5 minutes. What are you doing up there? This is where the arguments come in. Don't do that no more. Don't do that no more. Ladies are the fine print. Guys are the headlines. Together, we make an article. How was work today? Was good. I got a raise. Guy said his thing, he's done talking. And the woman's like, details. Well, you fill in the blanks. Then the guy asked the lady, how was your day? Well, I started off this, and I went here, then I meant this, but then I got distracted, and I went over there, and by it's all over, he's looking at her all glazed over like, when are you going to get to the point? The point is, it's beautiful to let her go through her process. It's beautiful to let her be a woman. It's beautiful to appreciate that in her and not try to change her to think like a man. And of course, they shouldn't try to change you to think like a woman. This is God's design. This is how He created us. And there's no shame in it. Men shouldn't be bullies, and women shouldn't be angry and spiteful. I mean, those are the two extremes that we see. We need to find, whether we're male or female, in God. Worship Him and be proud of who we are and give glory back to Him with our lives. So guys, you appreciate those ladies. Don't try to change them. Let them go through their process. And women, if we're blunt, if we're just headlines, if you pull a few teeth, you'll get it out of us. But let's love each other and be patient with one another the way God designed it. Okay? That's my message today. Have a great day.